How's it going, everybody? Pigbay here, PB for short, and today we're going to talk about ordnance and the different types of ordnance you find here in MetalStorm. We're going to start with the simplest thing, and we're going to talk about the different types of cannons. The first set we're going to talk about is external cannons. These have a limited amount of ammunition, so if you want to keep firing, you really got to hit those resupplies. Not only that, these things do not overheat. The next set of cannons that we're going to talk about is internal cannons. Now these do overheat, but they have an unlimited supply of ammo. You have two different variants. You have assault and precision. Assault basically means there's a spool up time, but they fire more rapidly. Precision means they're more accurate, but they don't fire as rapidly. The next thing we're going to talk about is high armor piercing values. So things like the F-35, the A-10, they have a high armor piercing value. And what that means is that a lot of these tankier planes will get shredded by the guns. Now on to the missiles. We have the first one, easy to talk about. They're fire and forget. They are infrared missiles, heat seekers. They have a short range, but a relatively quick lock-on time. They're not the quickest, but they do the job. There is the cool engines trait that a lot of attackers have that don't allow you to lock on until you get really close, so keep that in mind. Moving on to manual missiles. Now these are very good, but they're a little situational at times. So let's talk about the good. They have a good range, very quick lock on time, so they're really good in a joust. Now the downsides, they're affected by stealth. You have to keep your target locked on in that ring for them to track. And the last thing is they're affected by the A6's ability, that jamming effect. Moving on to radar missiles, you have three different variants. Right now I'm using the medium ranges here on the F-22, but there's also long ranges, and I consider interceptor long ranges to be completely different. These medium range radar missiles maneuver better than the long ranges, but they're also susceptible to stealth and the A6 jamming. But one of the good things is they are fire and forget, as are all radar missiles. Now the long ranges from interceptors, they do a massive amount of damage. The caveat with that is that they do not maneuver well, but they have a really good top speed. Don't be surprised if you one-shot light fighters, because they can do that. The other long-range radar missiles, you find those on the Typhoon and the J-20. They don't do as much damage as the interceptor missiles. So they do just a little more than like IR missiles. There's two more missile types that we're going to talk about, but we're going to save that for the end because they're more specialty. We're going to talk about rockets. You got light, medium, and heavy. Light is the most common. They fire very quickly. They don't do as much damage as the other ones, but you normally have a lot more capacity. They're fire and forget. Now the A-10 is the only one that has medium rockets, at least at the time of me recording this. Now if you notice, the capacity is a lot less. You only have 24, but honestly it's still enough to get the job done. They do more damage than light rockets. They're very good. Now heavy rockets, you're only going to find them at the moment on the Su-25. The range is very long. The damage is huge. With a direct hit, it's very comparable to an interceptor missile. Now the downside is you only get 4 of them, but they're really good. Now Hunter missiles are very good. They have the fastest lock-on time. They're essentially medium missiles. You could only have one in flight. They're affected by the same thing, stealth and jamming. But they can change targets in air. If you move the circle onto a different target, they will swap. Last but certainly not least are beam riders. Those of you that have seen some of my shorts on YouTube or have popped in the live stream, you guys know I am a huge fan of the MiG-19 and these beam riders. Now what makes them so special is that it's essentially fly-by-wire. Wherever you point the nose of your plane is where these beam riders are going. So you can do some pretty crafty things especially if people aren't really expecting them, because there's no missile lock. So you can have all 4 missiles in the air and someone won't even realize and just eat them. It says short range on the tooltip, but you can get some very long range kills with them. You could also get some kills that normal missiles wouldn't get. Say someone's running away and they turn and you can't see them anymore. If timed correctly, the missiles will curve and still hit them. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You can catch me streaming on Twitch, or if you want to see some YouTube shorts, catch me on YouTube. Thanks everybody. Have a good one.